by the man who will wave the green flag for today's race, Dale Earnhardt Jr. But this is truly an historic first. A sitting United States president pacing the field for the Great American Race. He said he wanted to do a lap. He's going to do it.
Well, he is the president. He has that right. And I just can't imagine, as a driver, as a competitor, the magnitude of this. This only builds up what is the Great American Race and one of the biggest races in the world to put that much pressure on you to win this race today.
I'm not sure how this idea came about, but I have an inkling. A phone call was received the other day in Franklin, Tennessee, at the home of our former colleague, Darrell Waltrip, who retired from broadcasting at the end of the 2019 season, asking him to fly to Palm Beach this morning and join President Trump on Air Force One on the ride up here to Daytona.
No, that's awesome.
I would not be surprised if Darrell had a little hand in what we're about to see.
Maybe he's giving him some tips down there about those high banks here at Daytona.
And are the drivers excited about this? Well, here's Clint Boyer's radio.
He's going to pace the field? Yes. Love it. Gosh, it's awesome.
Who did he say?
You know, Mike, people ask me, do you miss it? Are you jealous of those competitors out there today, right now? I am.
Melania, she's so pretty.
Daytona 500 field out there competing today. This is just so special.
Well, who the crap was in this car is waving right here? Why are you waving, ho?
Now, we know that at least 70 miles an hour is required to keep those cars up on the banking. Those presidential limousines, which are built on truck chassis, weigh about 22,000 pounds, will probably not be doing 70 through the 31-degree banking of turns 1 and 2.
You think?
But we'll stay down on the apron.
Now, you think when he finishes this lap, is he going to do a burnout? What kind of horsepower is underneath the hood of that car?
Well, Jeff, our Fox Graphic Department came up with a comparison between the NASCAR Cup cars and what Secret Service calls the Beast, the presidential limousine, built by Cadillac on a truck chassis. But with Cadillac sheet metal, it's 2 feet longer than the Cup car, and it's a little heavier at 22,000 pounds. Horsepower and top speed is sufficient, but unknown. It's been estimated that those side windows are 5 inches thick of bulletproof glass, and that the sheet metal is some 8 inches thick, as it's fully armored. And of course, seating capacity 7 for the limo and 1 for our Cup cars.
Only thing I wish they'd have modified on that limo is put a spoiler on that rear deck lid.
Oh my God. This is awesome.
Well, it does have a couple of antennas for communication after all. Not sure what those flags on the front fender are going to do for aerodynamics. Nor do we care. Donald Trump is the 4th United States president to attend a race here. Ronald Reagan gave the command to start from Air Force One and was here when Richard Petty drove to his 200th victory over Cale Yarborough in a Firecracker 400. George H.W. Bush, the summer of '92, and George W. Bush, the 2004 Daytona 500. Bill Clinton campaigned at Darlington at a NASCAR race. But the president with the closest ties to the sport was Jimmy Carter. One of Jimmy's closest friends in Georgia when he was governor was Alf Knight, the longtime superintendent of Atlanta Motor Speedway. Jimmy would come down, be a visitor to the track often, and was honorary starter for a race there when he was governor.
I don't like Jimmy Carter.
Someone on Twitter took a picture of the presidential limousine and emblazoned a NASCAR-style number 45 on the door, but that idea was rejected in favor of the presidential seal.
Well, we know these race fans, they've been ready all week. They're super excited, waving flags of their favorite driver, but I got to imagine there's a lot of American flags waving out in that infield right now as we get ready to take the green flag here.
And if you're a fan of professional cars, limousines, and the like, there is a great exhibit of presidential limousines of the past at the Henry Ford Museum
one that John
in Dearborn, Michigan. And a big roar from the crowd.
I don't know.
The green and American flags are
woo! There's the green flag. Don't hit the president. Here's Melania.
That's a sight for the ages right there.
I know. Secret Service probably crapping their pants. That'd be awesome to know
A very
you're
special moment
behind the
for
president.
our sport. After all, what sporting event would not want to have the President of the United States in attendance, much less to get the party started? Welcome
That
to
took
Daytona.
5
We're
minutes.
ready. We've been ready for 10 days for the biggest and first race of the 20.
Coach. What coach, as an example, wants to recruit a young woman to compete if her record can easily be broken by somebody who was born a man? Not too many of those coaches around, right? They are around. They won't be around long because they're going to have a big problem when their record is, we're 0-16, but we're getting better. No, I think it's crazy. I think it's just crazy what's happening. We must protect the integrity of women's sports. So important.
I love you too, Mr. Trump. President Trump.
As started that hearing, we're getting word of that, hearing that during some of the rallies, especially the latter rallies.
Have any sanctions? Let's negotiate a deal. I don't know, Matt Schlapp. I don't think you would have done that. Do you think so, Matt? I don't think so. Mercedes would have. No, you do that, you make a deal, and then you do what they wanted. I will tell you something, and I said it. Had we had a fair election, the results would have been much different, and we would have had a deal. We would have had a deal with Iran within the first week. They wanted those sanctions off. He took off for nothing. And by the way, not one American soldier has been killed in Afghanistan in over a year. Think of that. Not one. Those troops have largely come home. At the same time, the new administration unilaterally withdrew our crippling sanctions on Iran, foolishly giving away all of America's leverage before negotiations have even begun. Leave the sanctions, negotiate. Does anybody understand what I'm saying here? And we're one country. We can't afford the problems of the world as much as we'd love to. We'd love to help, but we can't do that. So they're all coming because of promises and foolish words. Perhaps worst of all, Joe Biden's decision to cancel border security has single-handedly launched a youth migrant crisis that is enriching child smugglers, vicious criminal cartels, and some of the most evil people on the planet. You see it every day. Just turn on the news. You'll see it every day. Under my administration, we stopped the child smugglers. We dismantled the criminal cartels. We greatly limited drug and human trafficking to a level that nobody actually thought was possible, and the wall helped us a lot.
They've got is the most sophisticated military equipment in the world. He surrendered our air base, he surrendered our weapons, he surrendered our embassy. They spent $1 billion building this ridiculous embassy. And they've got is the most sophisticated military equipment in the world. He surrendered our air base, he surrendered our weapons, he surrendered our embassy. They spent $1 billion building this ridiculous embassy. And he abandoned our great American citizens. They're over right now. They have no idea. Remember this, the Taliban's tough. And they don't respect our country, and they don't respect our president. It's not good. An incredible display. Under my administration, everyone knew not to mess around with America. They knew that. They understood our power, and that I would not hesitate to use it in defense of our citizens. And the Taliban,
Tell him, Prissy.
maybe as well as anybody.
Save America.
This would never have happened if I was president. Our country was so respected.
Feared.
Everybody respected our country. China respected our country. We
Love
took
it.
in billions and billions of dollars in taxes and tariffs from China. They never gave us 10 cents. But then, of course, the China virus came, and it was a lot different. My attitude toward China changed. As I personally told...
There's someone from South Carolina right there.
If anyone ever double-crossed the United States of America,